This is a very big undertaking. And, you know, one of the things that made us really start going there, at least me specifically, is that 5 year break. And it came out day before yesterday or yesterday
Couple
that
days.
some Kendrick Lamar songs that he ghostwrote have leaked. Mainly Baby Kim. They said J Rock and some more. People are saying that they have reference tracks for Money Trees. So this is an article that I found on Tone Deaf, and somebody basically put out on Reddit. Well, you know what? I'll go ahead and just read the article. It says new leak: Kendrick Lamar ghost wrote for Baby Kim, J Rock, and more. In recent leak is reported that Kendrick Lamar has ghostwritten for Baby Kim, J Rock, and other artists with a full list of songs. A recent leak is reporting that Kendrick Lamar was ghostwriting for Baby Kim, J Rock, and other artists with a full list of songs. A new leak claiming that Kendrick Lamar has been ghostwriting for TDE artists, and more specifically on a large amount of Baby Kim tracks. Some of the ghostwriting credits and leaks are quite large, such as J Rock's verse on Money Trees. The person who shared the leak on Reddit also included the snippet of information about Baby Kim's verse on Praise God, which was very disappointing to me because I thought Praise God was Baby Kim's breakthrough verse. And to hear that Kendrick may have written that, and maybe we would have been able to hear Kanye, Travis Scott, and Kendrick Lamar on that song and Kendrick delivering that verse,
Mm-hmm.
all this talk would be non existent. He's active. Okay, all right, let me finish this. Is why some lyrics have come across confusing. Okay. The following video snippet posted for Kendrick doing song references for J Rock's verse on King's Dead, Future's Part 2, Khaled The Ways, Baby Kim So What, Baby Kim Bullies, Baby Kim 16. He also claims that there are reference tracks for many TDE artists, including reference tracks for 90095, Redemption, Blank Face, and Crash Talk. He specifically mentioned these Baby Kim tracks as well, and J Rock's verse on Money Trees, Baby Kim Gang Activity, Baby Kim Opinions, Baby Kim A New Day, Baby Kim Stats, Baby Kim Rockstar P, Baby Kim Buster Open, Baby Kim Not My Bro. So, Kendrick's been doing a lot of writing. It sounds like Kendrick has been active. And you know what? My biggest thing was his inactivity. And if he's been doing all this writing, okay, it's two things here. And I want to get to the super chat. Then
Okay.
I'm gonna let you go, and then I'll say what I gotta say. Damian Jones says Untitled is severely underrated. Songs like Queens Get the Money, Sly Fox, Louis Farrakhan are standouts. Overall album grew on me tremendously. Probably aged very well.
I would say production wise, the album is aged well. Sly Fox is a dope record. I don't think it's a 5 out of 5. Queens Get the Money, I believe Jay Electronica produced. I'm a fan of Queens Get the Money. If I'm not mistaken, Jay Electronica produced that record for Nas, actually.
Is it Baby Kim or Baby Kim?
I thought it was Baby King.
I've been saying it wrong the whole time. Yeah, sorry. Baby Kim. People were like, Kim? Who is that? Lil Kim.
Well, okay. So I want to go back to my notes about the Baby King everything if we can. So,
Okay.
well, do you remember when we heard the album?
Yeah, I remember.
We both thought that the album was top 10 worthy for the year, but I said something to you. I was like, it sounds just like K Dot. It's like
I
he
said
sounds
that.
just like K Dot. And you were like, well, they're part of the same camp, Coop. And I look, and
I was like,
and
that's
you
his cousin.
yeah, and you and me argued a little bit. Not like it wasn't like a heavy argument. It's like one of those healthy rap debates we had where it was like, well, I don't care if he's part of his camp or if he's fucking related to him or not. He sounds just like him. It's swagger jacking. We can't sit up here and put him on this list when he's swagger jacking his cousin, and his cousin is what? Not making any material. Well, it looks like his cousin was making the material.
Kendrick's been going to work.
Kendrick's been going to work, but hold on. And not only that, I remember this because I was like, no, Mike, because you're like, this is a top 10 rap album this year. I was like, and you're right, except for the fact that it sounds like a Kendrick album. And I was like, and that makes him disqualified from it being a top 10 album. I was like, because then we're going to get roasted for putting this guy in for making the Kendrick sound alike album.
Is Baby Keem Morris Day?
Hold on. Listen, then I went back and I listened to it again, Mike, and I got even more upset at how much it sounded like Kendrick, and I knocked it off the top 20 list. And I remember sending you a text message like, yo, I listened to that again. And I went and checked the message. I was like, I'm leaving it off the top 20 specifically for that reason.
Granted, he didn't write all the songs on there, but a lot.
You wrote enough.
Yeah.
You wrote enough. Money Trees. That's J-Rock's most memorable verse, isn't it?
It is.
It's punched. It's Kendrick. Praise God. Did he write Praise God?
He wrote Praise God. That's Baby Keem's most memorable verse.
Exactly. So I was just thinking, J-Rock and Keem's most memorable verse, Kendrick wrote. What year did the Keem album came out? Was that last year or was that 20? I felt like that was 20. Like late 20?
No, that was last year.
It was last year?
Yeah, Keem came out last year.
So that would make this break 4 years, not 5 years. And then I thought about King's Dead into what, the 17-year-old young man that I talked to last week, Jack, said about the Black Panther soundtrack and the Untitled and the Unmastered. And it's like, well, if you look at really the Black Panther soundtrack, the Baby Keem album, Praise God verse, we need to find out what's going on with
We need to find out what all Kendrick has written.
No, and the most problematic part of all this, as a hip-hop fan, is Q being implemented in this on Blank Face and Crash Talk, which are brilliant pieces of work. And I told you, and a lot of people feel this way, a lot of people prefer Q's albums to even Kendrick's albums. It's like that with Q for some people.
If Kendrick's been doing all this writing, and, and Baby Keem is Morris Day, and basically Kendrick's alter ego and a whole nother person, we need to give him a break for his break.
No.
And I apologize for even speaking on the break if he's been doing a whole lot of ghostwriting. This is just the stuff that leaked. Ain't no telling who Kendrick's been writing for.
It would appear he hasn't been on break. He's just been kind of like,
in the background.
In the shadows and in the background. And about that, too, well, I'll stand down and we'll see what happens Friday. Because I really, he's important enough to the culture. He's important enough, even for being gone this long, to stir up all these streams that have him at number one, stir up all this controversy that has me getting vilified, stir up all these things that has people that he's breathing life into a culture when really this shit wouldn't even make Pimp a Butterfly. And that's okay. It's okay if the songs aren't always great. And I say this respectfully, and we're going to talk about the single that he just released. Black Thought does word salad songs all the time that don't connect and make classic albums, and people still think he's dope. And like he said, he's like the walking God MC on the mic when he spits a bar. So it's, there's nothing wrong with it. It's like, that's why it's like when people were like, oh, well, Coop, I lost respect for you and this, that, and the other. It's like, this is a throwaway. This practice, he in the gym shooting right now. I'm not expecting it to connect. I'm not expecting how much a dollar cost or Mortal Man or These Walls or Complexion. I'm not expecting that. That's not what the heart is supposed to be. And so when people are speaking about it like it's the gospel, I'm just going to have to respectfully disagree. And if you have a problem with it, that's fine. But don't call me biased when I sit up here and drag Nostradamus through the mud every single time. And I'm like, Pusha T is my favorite rapper, and I don't really listen to till it's almost dry after the first 3 tracks.
KD says, what are y'all thoughts on Kendrick said on King Kunta after these reference tracks? I'm not mad at Keem. He's not a lyricist, but definitely mad at J-Rock. I want to talk about ghostwriters and stuff. And, I know we haven't really talked about ghostwriters too much on this show. Gary Bell Jr. says, any feelings on Kendrick's opinion on the culture? Yeah, I think this can kind of tie into it.
I think everything that we're doing right here is indicative of his impact on the culture. It's pretty heavy. It's part of why when I'm making my top 10 MC list, even 5 years removed from his last album, he is still viable in the conversation in terms of where he belongs, respectively. That article that I wrote about him being a top 10-ish MC, it's been 5 years since he dropped anything. But when I look at who the competition would be for that slot, well, it's like, well, he's still viable, like in that realm, which is one of the things that I wanted to unpack, which speaks to his greatness. All we really been saying is like, well, is this nigga going to work? And what the work sound like? Because it's like, well, the work replay-wise hadn't held as well. Like, we had somebody from Cali hop up on here a couple weeks ago and tell us, it's like, well, they're not playing Kendrick like that out here in Cali. It's like, well, where are you? They're like, I'm in Cali. No, I'm in Cali. It's like, okay.
As far as ghostwriters, man, I know when we posted this article on according to hiphop.com about these leaks, people were saying they didn't have a problem with ghostwriters. And see, my thing is, I think that we've gotten to a point in hip-hop where ghostwriters have become the norm. And I don't think it's cool. For one, I think that if you're in any kind of conversation, and I know even when he said the line that he said on King Kunta, that was clearly directed at Drake, right? If you're in any of these conversations, best MC, this, and this, you're disqualified if you got a ghostwriter, right? And especially if you're a guy who's not a producer. I think we have kind of given producers a pass because they do a lot of work. They do the production or whatever. We expect producers to have ghostwriters. But I think the other part of this ghostwriting thing is when somebody like Kendrick's been gone for 5 years and we don't know that he's been doing these records, these are things that should be added to his resume. And he doesn't get the credit that he deserves for writing material while he's on a break. Like, even when we talk about Big and the fact that the stuff that he wrote for Kim on Hardcore, the Junior Mafia album, and then doing a double album and doing whatever he did on No Way Out, I mean, you got to give people credit for that. And so I think that the whole thing with ghostwriters, man, that shit just blurs all the lines, and the real MCs don't get the credit they need. And I've always used Kendrick as an example, actually. I don't care if Drake has a ghostwriter because I don't look at Drake like that. But if I found out that Kendrick had a ghostwriter, I want to know who's writing these rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? I guess you deep in the comment section.
No, I'm looking at the rap round table up in here.
What's the word? What are they talking about?
Not enough. Next. Not enough. Next.
But yeah.
No, I mean, that ghostwriting thing has become one of those funny things because people still love Drake. They know about the reference tracks. They still love Drake. I don't want to necessarily, knock Baby King. You know what I'm saying? But it just appears that Kendrick has had a large influence on what he's had going on.
Yeah, camera went out for a second. Ray Realms with the super chat, he said, "My bad. I should have told you guys Kendrick's been writing. I thought the criticism you guys were having for Kendrick was due to his vocals and inactivity rather than all the things that he's done as an artist. No, I mean, all the work that you've done is all the work that you've done. And yeah, and if he's able to ghostwrite for many, now I will say this, ghostwriting does get you points, but not a whole lot too. Like, you know what I'm saying? People got to write their own raps. Antonio says, hip-hop has been the only genre where writing your own lyrics matters. That shouldn't change if you expect it to be your authenticity. Ghostwriters are disqualified. It's different, man. Because in any other genre, you're singing actual notes. Like, someone might have a beautiful voice. Let's just say a Whitney Houston or Michael Jackson has a unique voice. Luther Vandross, you're a great vocalist. You could be a great songwriter, and you don't have the voice that those people have. You're not singing notes when you're rapping. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would a rapper really need a ghostwriter? If you need a ghostwriter, you just can't rap. You know what I'm saying?
That's why those whole Q checks being referenced on Blank, I think Blankface is Q's best word.
I think so, too.
So when you're talking about, it's like, well, he helped with Blankface, he helped with Crash Talk, it's like, well, like you're higher on Crash Talk than I am. I still think Crash Talk is his third best album because I still think Oxymoron is better. But those are three great albums, and if like Kendrick has helped contribute, like let's say he contributed MC wise to Blank Face and Crash Talk the way Q-Tip helped production wise with The Infamous. That's big.
It is. It is.
That's big.
Listen, you know, someone's talking about, I think Miss Mo said we right. That's the nature of this genre, and that's true. Because what you look like going in a cypher, rapping somebody else's raps. You get out of here and bring the person who wrote this stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. It's different. A singer can go in there, since people want to correlate this to R&B and other genres or whatever, a singer can go in there singing Shaka Khan or whatever. And you know what I'm saying? It's fine. You're showing your vocal talent. You can't get in a cypher sitting here rapping Rakim's lyrics. Where are your lyrics, nigga? It's different. It's different.
Like, hold on. When we talk about Aretha Franklin, Shaka Khan, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, do we ever talk about their songwriting ability?
No, we talk about their voice and their vocal talents.
Correct.
Ray Rims with the super chat says, can A2HH do a ghostwriting examined video? Many people will be disappointed by who they've placed high in their rap ranking. All right, what rappers that we place super high have ghostwriters? I want to know, and I want people to put in the chat. LP says Nas and Jay both ghost wrote while dropping solo project, whereas these excuses where are these excuses coming from? Big wrote for a whole group and had 2 solos in 3 years, one of them being a double disc, by the way. So yeah.
I'm aware of all these things, but like I keep trying to tell people, well, listen to what I'm saying when I'm saying, well, he's not Rakim about this leaving. I'm saying that to say that he's up high, but everybody you just discussed is in a stratosphere above him about some of the things that you just said. So when people are talking about him like he is Rakim, Nas, Jay, big level, well, you were explaining why not.
Antonio says if a rapper has a ghostwriter, they can't be GOAT. I mean, it's true. I mean, it's too many. We're too deep into the genre now, in the culture now, where so many people have put down so much with their own individual pen. There's nothing you can do if you're not writing your own raps to compete with somebody who has a pen like Rakim, somebody who has a pen like Nas, like Big, like Jay. They've done too much for you to compete with your writing team. Like it just doesn't work that way.
Your writing team ain't got shit on Biggie's brain.
No. And all the verses that he put down on Life After Death, like, and everything in between, the collaborations, it's just too much.
Yeah, your writing team ain't nothing compared to that. They suck.
And again, but you know what? This is what I will say too, to play somewhat devil's advocate. These records that Kendrick's writing for other people, they not like they hits though. He didn't write Baby Kim a classic project.
He did not. So if we want to unpack it on the other level, is he active? Yes. But like we said, that Baby Kim album was more like a top 10-ish album, where this is a guy that, well, quite frankly, the last 3 albums he dropped, those have been the album of the year.
Exactly.
So he's got 3.
And y'all are saying this is going to be album of the year too. This is what people are saying.
I will tell you this. If you want to talk about a teaser, and I literally said this to myself, it's like, well, this does feel like 1996. It's like, because summertime's coming up and Black Thought and Nas are on the way, and I think Jay is on the way too. Tell me this ain't 96 all over again.
Oh man, that Black Thought sounds crazy, man.
Black Thought, Nas, and Jay are all going to drop projects this year.
That Black Thought song I heard today?
Man, project this year.
That Black Thought song I heard today? Crazy.
That shit bonkers.
Tominette says, getting caught having a ghostwriter is like a fighter getting busted for roids. You're disqualified from GOAT Talk. Legacy tarnished. You know what? You're right. Because the thing is, you're not disclosing that from the jump. See, somebody like Cardi B, she lets you know that she got writers. So, okay, whatever. And so you put that in perspective, but you got somebody who's been supposedly writing their raps the whole time, and it gets discovered that they got ghostwriters. You're done. Let's just keep it real. And I know people want to say whatever. Drake in the hip hop conversation has not been the same since those reference tracks dropped.
He hasn't, because he hasn't gone to reference tracks or writers. He's just went back to depending on his pen, and it's just been, solid results. And some of that is just, I told people, like, it's like Kevin Garnett, got so many jumps in your knees. So many jumps in your knees. You got so many times that you're going to go make a hit record and make a smash and be the biggest thing on TV. Like, no, it's not normal. It happens to everybody. Michael Jackson made Invincible. There's not one #1 hit song on Invincible. There's some beautiful
You Rock
stuff.
My World's not?
Huh?
You Rock My World's not a #1 song?
Did You Rock My World go #1?
It might have.
It doesn't feel #1-ish though, does it? For Mike? Like, hold on. That's a #1 song if like Chris Brown or Usher make it.
I remember when You Rock My World came out, everybody was going crazy. Once again, they were happy to hear Michael Jackson again.
Happy to hear Mike.
And, me as a big Michael Jackson fan, I'm like, this song's okay.
It's
it actually sounds better over time, though. Maybe I was being too tough, but it sounds better now than it did back then. But once again, it reminds me of this, where everybody's just happy to hear Michael Jackson put out anything.
I would be happy if what happens on his albums coming up kind of just happened today, because it's like, well, You Rock My World isn't the highlight of that album. It's like Break of Dawn, Heaven Can Wait, Butterflies.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Mad Max says Baby Keem's album was not a top 10-ish if it had 5 songs. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it didn't really ring a lot of bells. I mean, they won a Grammy for... It was
a dope project. Just listening to it, it was a dope record. It's just that it sounded like a Kendrick record. So I was like, well, no, there'll be none of that. So next,
Blue Collar Hustle says You Rock My World was #10. All right, well, we're gonna leave it there, man, because we could talk about Kendrick forever, man. We already done taken up like an hour and 45 minutes on this Kendrick topic. But any predictions for the album that's coming out this Friday before we move on to the next thing?
Because I look back at Damn, and I want people to understand this. There's no way that people can talk about the lyrical precision of The Heart Part 5 that heard him on, listen to these records, DNA, Feel, Element, Love, God, or Duckworth, and tell me that lyrically he's like doing something supreme. Like what he just did doesn't touch those records. That was on his last album stuff, but this isn't album stuff. That's why it's like, it's like, I thought C- stuff, but we can say C+, B- stuff. It doesn't change the fact that it's not going anywhere, because it's just good at best. And in my opinion, just okay.
I think we're going to hear a lot more of this level.
I think we're going to hear something slightly better than this. I don't think we're going to hear To Pimp a Butterfly. How about that? I never realistically thought we were going to hear Good Kid, Mad City again. And I don't think we're going to hear To Pimp a Butterfly again, but I think we might get something comparable in terms of quality and consistency. And so what I would tell you is that I don't know where it's going to fall, but I'm expecting this album. And I told you, in order for him to be who he said that he is and how people tell him that he is, he needs to make something better than Damn. Okay?
You know what? From what I'm hearing, again, I know somebody in the chat was like, just wait till Friday. But we're here to make predictions. That's what we do. That's why you guys tune into our show or whatnot. That's what our Wednesday show really is for. Our Wednesday show was put in place to predict for Friday releases. But anyway, I'm predicting between Section 80 and Damn. And so for the people at home, I got it. To Pimp a Butterfly, Good Kid, Mad City, Damn, Section 80. I'm predicting between Section 80 and Damn. And I think musically, it's going to be more of a To Pimp a Butterfly vibe.
Mm-hmm.
But, that's where my prediction is.
So Mad Max is saying Love wasn't that lyrical. No, it's not lyrical, but it's one of his best records. It doesn't have to be lyrical for the record to be a 5. I'm a lyricist guy, and even I know that, Mad Max. It's like it doesn't have to be super lyrical for the record to be flawless.
The Truest says Nas got ghostwriters, Jay Electronica and Stickman. I remember that rumor for Untitled. Yeah, I don't know how. Stickman himself said that wasn't true, but just based on the work that Nas has put out, I give him the benefit of the doubt if we haven't heard reference tracks. We gotta hear reference tracks. Inquiry 601 says, where do you rank Dot and Cole respectively all time? You can handle that one real quick before we move on.
Well, let's kind of go to that, and then we can move on. So, on my all-time list right now, I have Nas, Rakim, Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Scarface, Ghostface, Ice Cube, KRS-One. That's 9. At 10, listen to the people that I have in the next realm, and you tell me who belongs at number 10. Black Thought, Method Man, Jadakiss, Redman, Pusha T, Big Daddy Kane, Cool G Rap, DMX, Snoop Dogg, LL Cool J, Styles P, Common, Raekwon.
I got LL in that 10 spot.
I think I have LL in that 10 spot too. So after that, and I'll say those people again. So this would be the top 10. Nas, Rakim. How about this? Even for me, after Nas and Rakim, I don't care how you do it. You want to go Biggie, J, Pac, however you want to run that. That's my top 5. Nas, Rakim, Biggie, J, Pac, however you want to run that. After that, it's Face, both of them, Ghost and Scarface, either way you want to toss that. Ice Cube, KRS, LL. Now, with those guys being taken and that being the top 10, where does Kendrick belong in relationship to Black Thought, Method Man, Jadakiss, Redman, Pusha T, Big Daddy Kane, Cool G Rap, DMX, Snoop Dogg, Common, and Raekwon, and Styles P? Because those were the names that I came up that had enough weight in the game to fight him.
Do we put Kendrick ahead of Snoop Dogg? I don't know. I mean, that's hard for me.
He's a better MC. He is a better MC.
Of course, I think we know that, but we're talking about collectively and everything that it encompasses. Our man says Only Built for Cuban Links 3 and Supreme Clientele 2 are on the way too. It's going to be a serious summer.
It's ridiculous. It's a serious year. It's one of the best rap years ever.
It really is. It's shaping up to be it.
Like no, it's going down like that.
Ryan Gillum says, this album cover tells me the album is going to have Section 80, Good Kid, Mad City, and Damn vibes all on it. See, he mentioned all the albums.
Vibes. I saw more Section 80 vibes than anything else, actually, if you want to talk about the vibes.
I think Section 80 is a very safe vibe to go.
If it sounds like Section 80, that's not going to be good enough, though.
I think for the people who known him since Section 80, it will.
Okay, this is what I mean. That's not good enough.
But that's that's not where his fan base is anymore. Honestly,
no, that's what I'm saying.
Because this is the thing. Let's just say after Stankonia, right? Outkast gave us an album that sounded like Southern Playalistic. Now the people that were down since day one would be ecstatic, but the rest of the people that they just got from Stankonia would be like, this is cool.
No, this is what I'm saying is that. So I can't fight for Nas being the GOAT with Godson. You get what I'm saying? As much as you may love Godson, the album, that's not a GOAT conversation album. Section 80 isn't either. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, no, it's great. It's a classic. Is that a conversation album that, like, where you can be like, he's the best and here's why, because it sounds like this. It's like, no, it's not that. It's like Illmatic is that.
I think it is.
You feel what I'm saying? Mad City is that. You feel what I'm saying? It's so Section 80 isn't going to do in terms of like all-time classic status. It's like, is it a great project? Yeah. A classic album? Yeah. Something to put in the catalog to put him in the conversation? Yeah. But if we talking like that top level, and we're talking about where hip-hop has been, because I'm going to point this out too. Part of the Rakim comparison that I made about the 5-year break is that, well, Rakim left, but hip-hop did get better after he left.
That's the thing. And this kind of happened here too.
Everything just happened again.
Yeah.
And what happened when Rakim stepped back into the fold? The greatest of MC of all time stepped back into the fold, and it was like, well, yeah, he deserves to be mentioned with all the guys that he inspired. Nas, Big, J, like all those guys. But it's like, but is he as good as those guys right now? It was like, well, no, not really. And so what I'm expecting is maybe to hear something better than the 18th letter. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, if it's going to be like Godson level, it's like Godson level's not good enough. Section 80 level's not good enough. Not for the way people are talking. It needs to be Magic level or Stillmatic level. Like, it was written level for the way people are talking. It needs to be Blueprint level, Black Album level for the way people are talking. Like, regular level's not going to do for the way people are talking. So let's not try to make it seem like we're about to like backdoor his all-time greatness if he drops something comparable to Section 80. Like, the state's been higher than that for a while now.
Ray Realm says, do we give Snoop a pass for having ghostwriters? He's in my top 5 hip-hop artists, but I can't place him in my lyricist list. Oh, man. I've never heard... This is the thing with the Snoop and ghostwriters. We've heard rumors. Once again, we haven't heard reference tracks. And we know what Snoop does when it comes to him writing for others. So, no. I mean, what songs are we talking about from Snoop where you're like, yeah, Eminem wrote that? You know what I'm saying?
Are any of the reference tracks have anything to do with the Chronic or Doggy Style?
Right, yeah. So that doesn't change anything. I mean, yeah. Like I said, it ain't no pass. We need proof. And like my man Coop would say, we need evidence.
I want some evidence. There's been a murder. Yeah, see how people be talking about people. No, he did that shit. It's like, oh, he did? Where's the evidence?
They're saying Snoop admitted to it. What song? What song and what? Yeah, like, who's the writer?
The Chronic and Doggy Style.
Okay.